Subway Restaurants invites you to make every day different with the sub of the day. Every day, it's a different foot-long sub for just $6. Try the sweet onion chicken teriyaki on Monday, the oven-roasted chicken on Tuesday, turkey breast on Wednesday, and many more. Prepared on your choice of freshly baked bread with any veggies you want. It's a different foot-long sub of the day each day for just $6. Only at Subway Restaurants. Participation may vary. Additional charges for extras and deluxe, plus tax where applicable. May not be combined with other offers, coupons, or discount cards.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all hot dolls.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid!
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Here's Gingy.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Have you checked the children?
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I think he's in trouble. Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
Look, just a flesh wound.
Good evening, Flesh Wound Radio freaks, or good afternoon, because we're kind of recording earlier, so you West Coast guys, it's still, you've got your whole day ahead of you. I am Daniel Shine, joined once again by Todd Loya. Todd, how goes the day? You got a busy one coming up.
I do. It's going well. Everything's running smooth, so I expect that to go off the rails pretty soon. I don't know. Hopefully this will, I'm expecting problems. I just don't know when it's going to be yet.
There you go. Yeah, you've said everything from drinking games to baby classes. I don't know. That might not work too well, like putting them together.
Yeah, those are separate things.
Well, it keeps things interesting.
Well, they got to have they got to have some for the fathers to do at the baby classes.
Yeah. I've never been to one. I don't have kids, but isn't it pretty much just, how to breathe? Don't freak out or sort of deal.
Yeah, I don't know if it's specifically Lamaze classes or more of just other. I don't know what I'm in for. It's like, okay. Yes. So possibly in late July, early August, we may be running a slightly altered or pre-recorded schedule, just as a heads up.
Yeah, well, commentaries for you guys. I know we're doing Human Tornado. That one I can say for sure. And if you have any suggestions, we were actually just talking about it. We'll probably maybe do one for one of the Human Centipede movies. We're just not sure which one might be the most amusing. You guys got any suggestions? We're happy to hear them through our Flesh Wound Radio Facebook page. There's certain films that work well for the commentary. I don't know. I remember way back when we did that commentary with Ted Vernon for Scarecrows, which was kind of a big deal because, we were still, I don't know if we were Creepshow Radio yet or if we were Horror Theater Radio still, but it just did not work. Ted Vernon didn't particularly care for the movie, and he bought like a German Blu-ray something or other, and we just weren't even synced up for the commentary, and it was just horrible. So it takes a special movie, but Human Tornado, I think, is a special movie for a commentary. And I don't know, Todd, maybe a Nazi exploitation flick. That might be interesting for a commentary too. We'll talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, that would be scary to listen to us watching one together, though.
That's true. That's true. We're trying to make jokes out of rape and torture, but we're good at that, so, we'll make it work. Well, we do have a bit of news today. Huh?
I was going to say we might lose some female listeners on that one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That could get creepier than normal. Barb, I don't know. With women in prison, maybe too. That may not go too well. We could do barbed wire dolls or something, though. It could be interesting, but maybe not for everybody. So, Human Centipede could get pretty interesting. So, hey, you have suggestions? We always are happy to hear them. Well, cult film lovers should rejoice because the sole surviving 35mm print of the 1982 Turkish cult film The Man Who Saves the World, best known to fans as Turkish Star Wars, has been found. It's been considered lost for over 30 years, and it has just been purchased by filmmaker and film historian Ed Glazer. The film, if you've never seen it, it's infamous for stealing footage from Star Wars, music from Indiana Jones, Flash Gordon, Moonraker. It's never been seen in its original format since its theatrical release over 30 years ago in Turkey. And other than that, it's just, I've got one. I'm sure a lot of you out there have a really shitty bootleg of it. Hopefully this means at some point soon we'll get to see it as it was meant to be seen. It apparently was discovered in a collection of a retired movie projectionist in northwestern Turkey, and he lied and said it was damaged and had held on to it. So thank you. This is going to be pretty cool. Have you ever actually seen it, Todd?
I have not, and I have a bad feeling there's quite a few studios that may have something to say about this getting legitimately released.
Yeah, that is true. I hadn't thought of that.
That's a lot of clearances, and
yeah, that is true.
You know, the one good thing is that they're using footage from Star Wars. Fox would be dicks because they still own that. But like, yeah, fuck it. Disney owns the rest of that shit. Because they still own that one, so they own the the actual film. So that would be kind of funny.
Shit. Even just put it online. Just so people can actually see it or something. Yeah. I don't know. Some screenings.
Well,
yeah, something like that. Maybe even just a screening tour.
I can see that, not being problematic. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I want to keep my eye on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly hope somebody will just say, fuck it, and we're going to put it out. But I don't know if they want to risk the wrath of Disney now.
Yeah, it's again, that's the one thing. Because Fox owns the first film, but then if they call it Turkish Star Wars, then Disney will have something to say. It'll be interesting to keep track of that. Hopefully it gets a legit release. If not, they can release it in a different cut. I'm sure the Germans won't care if they they put it out.
Here's what I would do. If Disney says no, I would rent out the closest theater to the park and air a nonstop Alligator 2, fucking Lake Placid until they let us put it out. That is
the closest theater to the park. well, the Florida park. What are we going to play at the Anaheim?
We'll hit them on both coasts. Just every fucking Gator picture imaginable. Make a huge. I want a fucking bat signal with a fucking gator in the air, and it's give us Turkish Star Wars, you bastards! Damn it, we want to see it. we want to see it how it should be seen. It's a I was going to say an American classic. It's not, but I'm still calling it an American classic. Turkish Star Wars is an American classic, and it deserves to be seen. So there we go.
All right. Well, I got a couple bits.
Yes,
a couple bits of Scream Factory news. One I think you'll be more excited about than the other. First up, it's been announced, but they gave a few details for the upcoming Child's Play disc coming October. I know I have the date in front of me. October 18th. All right. Specs so far are not the ultimate we're expecting. The good thing is there's a new it's supposed to be a collector's disc, and only so much has been announced so far. There's more to be announced later, but there's the two big new ones are it's a new 2K scan of the inner positive.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we get a new audio commentary from the director Tom Holland, because previous discs have omitted him. So I'm assuming we'll see Tom Holland's involvement quite a bit in this one, because all the other specs that have been announced are on the MGM disc, which was a pretty stacked release.
Yeah.
So I expect the second disc to fill out nice, and once again, in which I do expect this to sell out quick, unlike Carrie. They have announced another one of, it's got their MO now, the deluxe offer, which includes of course, the Blu-ray, and then a limited edition poster of the new cover, and the second cover, because of course you're getting that second slip. The second slip looks like the Good Guys box with Chucky's head peeking through, and the second poster is basically just a Good Guys poster. Looks like the toys and stuff, and you get a NECA action figure.
No, that's not bad. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The figure, especially.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't think I'm going to do it. I've got my box set. I'm happy with it. The posters don't do anything for me because again, unless it's an old autographed retro poster, I just don't have room. So I don't know. I don't think I'll be doing it.
Yeah, I'll grab the disc, but I'm not getting the limited one. And the limited one, or the deluxe offer, is like $60. I'm like, I'll just buy the disc. All right.
Yeah, no, I definitely $60.
Now something to get you excited. It was announced, finally, that they will be releasing William Peter Blatty's cult favorite, The Exorcist 3, October 25th, 2-disc collector's edition, and it will include the director's cut. But they're working but they are working from a mixture of different sources. They're using the original shooting script, or original script, not shooting. But some of the stuff is on videotape, kind of like originally how Nightbreed was announced, and then they ended up finding the film materials. So we're getting a director's cut. Quality may be from different, places. So I'm just happy that that's getting included, because this is honestly another double dip too. Because there was nothing wrong with the Warner's disc, except that it was lacking what everyone wanted, which was the director's cut.
Yeah, I'll get that one. I will. Yeah, I will say that one. I will pick up. I'm not as obsessive lately about getting everything from Scream Factory, but that one I think I will definitely snag. What do you think the surprise Comic-Con announcements are going to be?
I know, because they're announcing some. I figured Exorcist 3 would have got saved for that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, and I'm like, shit, Comic-Con's not this weekend, is it?
No, I think it's next week. I'm going to go, on a long shot here, and they finally ponied up and paid fucking what's his name for Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that one I would not surprise me. I have a feeling that could be one of the announcements.
And maybe the Child's Play sequels, because they're with Universal. Just 2 and 3 desperately need special edition. See, now
that is true.
If they did 2 and 3, would you double dip on them? Because the Universal ones are basically bare bones discs. Bride and Seed are fine. I mean, of course, Bride could use a new edition at this point, but what about those two?
You know, maybe eventually, but it'll just depend what's coming out. I mean, Arrow announcing so many cool things, and you know, great company, not cheap prices. I probably will grab it, just maybe not like a day one buy for me. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I'm excited about, not exactly the most popular company out there, but, you know, like the Rift Blu-ray, Beware of the Blob, Cat People from Criterion. Scream Factory is just not blowing me away lately. I mean, you know, I'm getting Return of the Living Dead and, you know, because that one, you know, definitely the last Blu-ray left a lot lacking, although we had the documentary. But I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to see them announce something like, I mean, again, I know it's probably not going to happen, but something like a Return of the Living Dead 3 or something that'll kind of blow our minds that hasn't already been put out, you know? Something like that.
See, that would, but I don't see there being a Lionsgate, you know, deal. That's the biggest problem. Unless,
well, that's just an example, but you know, it'd be cool.
You know what? Anything is possible. And now I'm thinking, because Lionsgate knew they were doing this now, but it was Lionsgate who bought Anchor Bay, so never mind. I was going to say maybe they're like, hey, here, you can have these rights real quick before we get bought, but wrong company. Went the other way.
Yeah, that one that remains, and of course I'd like to see 2 also, but those remain some of those big titles that I would love to see. I don't know, maybe they'll get 4 and 5. 4 and 5, I would take that before 2 and 3 just to see Chris's rant about it. I would suffer just for that. 3-disc Necropolis.
Oh my God! Both cuts.
Yes.
No, I got it.
It would be worth it for the rant.
Day of the Dead 2 and Creepshow 3.
Newly paired with the re-released Video Dead. That would be pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
In jokes for people that don't know our fellow horror society member, but that would be pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. Return of the Living Dead 2 and 3. Those are. I mean, there's not a lot remaining that is truly classic that's never been put on Blu-ray. I mean, of course, we know we've got Suspiria coming, and really most of Argento's classics. There's not a lot left for Scream Factory to really announce that's just going to blow everyone away in the horror genre. So I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot. Like I said, maybe Lionsgate, Anchor Bay now can. There's a lot missing from them that would be pretty cool, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get. I'm trying to think of some others I'd like to see.
Maybe that's the big announcement for Comic-Con, because they said they're going to do like 5 or 7 or 7 or 10. I can't remember what the number was. I just remember
5 to 8, I think, is what they said, and maybe more. So. And
maybe that's the deal. They finally work something out with Lionsgate, and we could get, that shopping mall that's getting worked on right now could be coming through them. I mean, if they struck a deal with Lionsgate, that's a pretty big thing, and that's a whole catalog of stuff they can mine.
It'll get them back on top, because right now I'm not considering them the top dog. I'd love to see the Resurrected. Talking about Lionsgate, I would love to see a proper version of that on Blu-ray.
And there is
Beyond Reanimator. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said, and there is an HD master already of the Resurrected.
Oh, okay, that I did not know.
There is. There's actually, I want to see there's already a German Blu-ray, because I've seen it on demand in HD, and I know there's an HD master of Beyond Reanimator since you brought that one up too.
Yeah, because the DVD was full screen, if I recall, and I don't know.
Yeah,
that one, yeah, that's high on the list for me. But I guess we can get into our reviews for the evening. One, I guess, huh?
I said, oh yeah, we got those to deal with tonight too.
Yeah, that is true. I can go on about all these movies I want on Blu-ray, but we will see. Turkish Star Wars would be pretty cool. Yes. Well, we will definitely do a commentary on Turkish Star Wars if it goes through. But well, before we get into our film reviews, Todd, you mentioned this music video, Wolfie's Just Fine, A New Beginning, which is a tribute, in a way, to Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, and I guess a kid's crush on a certain victim from that film. Tell everybody about it. I know you have a little more information about the artist.
Well, yeah, Wolfie's Just Fine is John LaJoy's basically parody folk band. People may know John LaJoy from he played Taco on The League, and he's done. If you search his YouTube channel, he's done like pretty hysterical stuff musically for years, and he's done some of that on The League also. He's done little videos and songs. He's pretty funny, and just out of nowhere, it just kind of came out. He made a video for A New Beginning and kind of proclaiming his love for Debbie Sue Voorhees and his first time watching it, and it's pretty goddamn accurate for the recreations they do of Part 5. And he actually inserts himself into the film, and it's just I love it. It's like dead on, and of course, shout out to the LJ. Wait, was that even the LJNs? The wrestling, the Macho Man, the big rubber figures. I don't even think those were LJNs, but LJNs.
I don't know. I just see Randy Savage covered in blood, and I was like, wow, this is pretty surreal.
At least it wasn't Miss Elizabeth covered in vomit.
Ah, Todd, how dare you? With the Lex Luger doll with the needle in his ass. Yeah, no, that just crying out. No. See, you were more offensive than me tonight. My alligator comments were nothing compared to that.
But the difference
wrestling fans get it.
Exactly. We have a smaller percentage.
The non are Googling it now.
That's the thing. Very select few are getting that reference. Pugs, if you're listening, I know you got that one. But everyone got the alligator one, so I think, therefore, yours was more offensive to the masses.
There you go. And I added the part about Luger on the couch with a needle in his ass. So, I contributed to your sick sense of humor. But anyways, back to the music video. I posted this on the Flesh Wound Radio Facebook page, by the way, so any of you curious what we're talking about, you can look at it. It's about 4 minutes or so. You sent it to me, and I'm like, oh, is this like some YouTube fan video? I didn't realize it was kind of a, professionally done, and I was pretty impressed. I thought it was pretty amusing, and little nudity too, so not safe for work because of the nudity.
Just a little ass. I mean, we didn't get well, it's hard to recreate those Debbie Sue Voorhees if you don't have her.
That's true. But I thought that was pretty cool. I could actually see that on an extra feature on some future Friday the 13th release. I thought that was That was pretty funny. And well done.
You know, I agree, and you know, I've long been a champion of Part 5. I just think it's funny that that's the one it is, and I know how much everyone seems to hate that one. I've long proclaimed my love for 5.
Do you hate any of them, really? Friday the 13th? I mean, I kind of find something to like in each one. I mean, obviously we have our favorites. 4 is my favorite, and I think probably most people share that.
Yeah,
but
I think it goes between 4 and 6 for a lot of people.
That's true. But I like 7 too.
Yeah, see, it's funny. 4 is like completely played out to me. 7, it's all right. I don't really like the whole mystical bullshit aspect.
Yeah.
I don't dislike any. My least favorite, of course, is 9, and I'm discounting the remake because I didn't really like the remake. That'd probably be the one I like the least. Yes, that's over.
That's
Jason
true.
Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
But I love the Duke in Jason Goes to Hell. So it's a hard one. But I love 5.
I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, I love 5 to the point it annoys people.
Well, 7 is the only. I have every cast member from 7 signed on a poster, so that's really the only Friday the 13th poster I have. I used to have the original, but it got damaged in a move, but I never had that autographed. So, you know, I like 7 enough to have the poster.
I see, that's the thing. I like 5, or it's like probably my favorite, but I do not like the poster because it doesn't even have the right mask. That is another thing about it. But I didn't hate it. I'm with you. I think it's an entertaining movie, and this is a really cool tribute. It's just like the first time you see boobs when you're a kid. I mean, I kept thinking, like, God, I need to make one of these, cast a homely-looking child actor to play me, like watching Slumber Party Massacre or something. Get a Brink Stevens thing going, and just horrified every time she gets killed. I think it could be interesting. I'd be ripping him off somewhat, but mine would have a lot more nudity in it. It'd be like the exploitation version of his music video. So you know, but enough about my child adulthood fantasies. We will. Anything else to say about this one, Todd? Before we move on? No.
Okay.
Just even if you're not a fan of Part 5, you've seen it, you'll recognize the whole scene. I mean, it's one of the most memorable ones. Check
You'll
it
get
out.
a kick out of the video.
Yeah, I definitely think, even if you're a hater of Part 5, which there are quite a few.
Yeah, there are. I will say that is one that a lot of fanboys just do not care for. But you know, I never hated it. It's
the giallo of the bunch. It's the sleaziest.
That's true.
It's the last one with the original real Friday the 13th formula before it got switched up to zombie Jason and became something else. So
yeah,
I know
true.
the big.
I mean, and
I know.
Remember,
I know
it was
the
coming
Roy
off Part
issue.
4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's the one thing I love. People can't really just discount it because it continues the Tommy Jarvis story. So even if you hate it, it keeps some continuity.
It does. Like I said, it was a tough act to follow for, and you know, revisit it. It's a fun movie. You know, it's a guy in a hockey mask killing people at this point. So, you know, it's that's my thing about the remake. It's really not that complicated. You know, to make people happy with this one, with the Friday the 13th movie, it's really not that complicated. I've always said it's the one franchise I wish would go direct to DVD, Blu-ray, because I think they could kind of give us more. You know, I mean, it's an obvious choice, but an Adam Green type guy, get a hold of it and just do sort of like the Jason on steroids type version that I think a lot of people would like to see.
I wonder who he cast.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be much of a mystery there.
My only thing is whoever does this, whoever's doing the reboot, don't hire actresses who won't do nudity. Like, kind of kills the whole fucking point.
Yes. That's another thing that I wouldn't think. I mean, even in the piece of shit things that I was a part of, I mean, nudity is not that hard, really. I mean, to get it. I mean, they're you know, but I don't know. I'm excited for that one. What can I say? I may be disappointed at the end of the day, but I'm going in with a positive attitude that it'll be hopefully halfway decent. But anyways, we do have some movies to review this evening. Let's see, what should we kick it off with? Maybe go retro first. And that is the 1988 cult, I don't know, sci-fi, horror, kind of fits in both molds. It's not really particularly either, but more of a comedy. And that is Return of the Killer Tomatoes from director John DeBello. And from the cover, it has been years since the original killer tomato attack was squashed, and pizza makers Matt, played by George Clooney, and Chad, played by Anthony Stark, are living a life ripe with good times and non-tomato-based sauces. Meanwhile, mad genetic scientist Professor Gangrene, played by the great John Astin, is plotting to take over the world by creating a race of mighty tomato warriors and one wanton tomato woman. But when Chad falls in love with the bodacious tomato babe, he and Matt must face a deadly rampage of ninjas, newsmen, toxic waste, and product placement. Can these two heroes defeat the most fiendish red menace of all, or will the girl of their dreams turn out to be a complete vegetable? So I have to confess, I am getting it. I do not have the new Blu-ray yet, so my review is of the movie itself, so Todd will handle the Arrow Blu-ray extras. Watching it again, Todd, I have to say I wish I had gotten it on day one, because now I want to watch it again. Well, what do you think? First off, I mean, the movie itself.
Well, I'm probably, I love this movie. I always have. One of my first if not my very first, what year is this? Yeah, this would be my very, very first theatrical poster I ever bought. Oh,
wow, I thought you were going to say first hand job in the theater.
No, I would have been. It's possible. This, and then my next one was Phantom of the Opera with Robert Englund. But still have it, still in mint condition, still beautiful, still in the giant hardback cardboard. So I was a fan from the get. Love this one so much more than the original. I'm not ashamed to say it. I think the comedy in this one is a lot better, and the whole product placement thing is just so ahead of its time. I mean, it's so true. And they even talk about in the extras, who was it that did it right after? And it was like, okay, there's someone right after who did the same exact joke. Jeez, and I wish I would have noted it, but it was done by a major studio. Oh, Wayne's World.
So, okay, yeah, I was gonna say one of the Naked Gun movies do something like that. I could be wrong because it's been so long.
No, it was Wayne's World was the one. And I was like, yeah, that is true. It's almost directly the same thing. But I mean, you have the introduction of Professor Gangrene, who went on with the rest of the series. And honestly, this was like they were a franchise before a lot of stuff were. I mean, because you have the spin-off cartoon. It was a whole thing. And I will hate myself if I do not mention the lovely Karen Mistal, because I wish she did more.
Yes. one of the 80s babes that, didn't really take off like she should have.
We've got this and Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death as her two, classics.
My favorite political commentator, Bill Maher, is his greatest work, I think.
I agree. How they didn't get him to do a commentary, I'll never know.
He's mentioned it, believe it or not. I mean, he doesn't pretend like it doesn't exist. He has mentioned it.
I've heard him mention it too, but I would have loved to have him and Shannon Tweed do the commentary.
Just donate a certain amount of money to some anti-Trump thing, and he'd probably come in and do it. You just have to be clever.
I want to see him get her on his panel.
Yes. That would be pretty cool. Shannon Tweed, she's an intelligent lady. She'd be cool on his panel.
As long as she doesn't bring her crazy old man.
Yes. That could be interesting, actually. But yeah, I mean, Return of the Killer Tomatoes. I mean, it's the perfect example of a movie that you watched when you were a kid and just fucking loved it, and watching it again now makes you feel like a kid again. I agree, a lot. I think more entertaining than the original. I like the original well enough, but I think this one, the jokes, they all really hit for the most part. I mean, it's silly. It's like I'm surprised, truthfully, what they got away with for a PG movie, because there are blowjob jokes. I mean, they're very subtle. I mean, there's nothing too graphic, but you have a store and a porn shop. You know what I mean? Only in the 80s could you pass for a PG rating when you've got a scene with somebody punching a mime in a porn shop.
And don't forget, later we get the later appearance of porn icon Terry Wiegel.
That is true. I actually forgot about her until I watched it again. It's just a fun movie. I mean, it's one of those ones you can't quite put it into words, I think, to people that didn't see it back in the day. I think Chris is actually a fan of this one. He told me at one point as well. It's just a good time.
And who did not want an FT back in the day?
I was going to say, I think I probably rented it, and not being on the internet back in those days, looking at the toy store, and it's like, does this exist? I think I actually probably asked at a couple toy stores. I guess I probably would have been in D.C. at the time if they had it. No one knew what I was talking about, and I was a sad kid. But I think I also asked if at the video store if they had a copy of Big Breasted Girls Go to the Beach and Take Their Tops Off, and was sad to know that didn't exist either. So,
I'm sorry.
That's how it goes.
Still could happen.
It could happen. I'm okay on that front now. I mean, I've discovered that eBay sells porn and you get it a lot cheaper. So,
And that's the greatest theme song for. That's the greatest theme song for a movie that doesn't exist. And not to mention, as much as I enjoy the original theme song on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
yes.
I think this would be even better because it's pretty damn hysterical. Part 2 of only 2 parts is one of my favorite lines, and then it ends with until there's another. So I don't know. But
kind of ruining our song for tonight. There's not going to be a big surprise for people, but
yeah,
okay.
Pretty much. And
we have them now. They will stay tuned.
And the fact that they basically just recycled credits and just crossed out Attack, and
it's the first self-aware movie that I think I saw that was directly jumping out of the movie with the director. I remember watching it and thinking what the hell is this? Not fully grasping the parody at the time.
And then you got Clooney already like a superstar.
Yeah, how long before ER was this? Not too long. Didn't he start that like in the early 90s? Late 90s or late 80s maybe?
I want to say he was a later. Was he from the beginning of ER, or was he a later ER joined in?
No, I never watched ER. My brother's ex-wife is.
I think he jumped in later, but he was already a TV star because of the Facts of Life.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I don't think he was a mega star yet at this point because Return of the Killer Tomatoes. I mean, it's not a big star vehicle, but I will say I was going to say it was his best movie ever made, but then I forgot From Dusk Till Dawn, of course. But this still ranks up there. I mean, not Syriana.
If I had to pick one, I don't know. I'd be close.
Oh, really?
I love both of those. Depends on the mood, If I'm I need a light comedy mood, I'm going to say Return's the better film. If I want a good horror film, I'm going to be like From Dusk Till Dawn. So it's hard for me. Yeah,
but we're always in the mood to see Salma Hayek doing her little dance. It's
I'm just going to put it out there. I can look at Karen just as long.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
They both got eye candy.
I will say Clooney's one lately. It just seems like he's playing the same role in every movie. Watching this again, I don't know. You kind of get the impression maybe he could do more if he didn't try and make a movie with a political message every time.
Here's the thing. He's like Bruce Willis. He's got like three characters. You have early Clooney, which is the Facts of Life Clooney. Then you have the middle Clooney, which is basically ER Clooney through everything. And now you have current political Clooney, where he's currently the same thing. Same thing goes with Bruce Willis. You have the moonlighting David Matty character, which he also plays. He does in Die Hard, all the way up till you get Baldhead Willis, and he's basically Baldhead Bruce Willis and everything. At least Clooney had three phases,
Bruce is kind of in the give me my paycheck and leave me the fuck alone phase, I think, at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan, of Clooney, I should say. I don't hate him either. Men Who Stare at Goats was kind of a quirky, amusing one, but this is definitely some of his best work.
Yeah, I love Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I know. That is true. He fares a little better in comedy when he's trying to make these generic thrillers with political messages. I don't know. It doesn't quite.
No.
I mean, I kind of get it, and I don't need to sit through the whole thing.
I forget how much I enjoy my comedy. Now I feel like I should watch Hail Caesar.
That I will probably watch. I didn't want to pay full price for the Blu-ray, but back to our serious Killer Tomato flick.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to also throw out John Astin, who I've met a few times. So cool. I mean, he's one of those guys that elevates anything he's in. I loved him in Briscoe County Jr. He's awesome here as well. I think he probably, it's been so long, probably did the voice in the cartoon as well, I would imagine.
Yeah.
He did? Okay.
I'm almost 100% positive it was, because he was the only character that I want to say did that, because they recast the other characters. Because I want to say in the cartoon it was Chad and Tara. It's been years since I've seen it, which would have been this.
Never on DVD.
Cast. No, regrettably, I know. I gotta.
There's
see if I can.
Random old cartoons that seem to come. That one stop motion one, Bump in the Night, came out through Mill Creek. I saw that, so there could be some hope. You never know.
I
but
think
anyways,
Fox has. Yeah, but I do want to talk a little bit about the extras.
Absolutely.
The high definition transfer looks solid. Coming from Arrow, it's not to be surprised. There is a brand new feature-length audio commentary from writer-director John DeBello, which is, if you're a fan of this movie, Dan, when you get it, you will love this. It's very informative. It brings up the product placement, the Wayne's World thing, lots of good information. It's.
I always wondered how much money they got total.
Well, that's the thing.
For
Some
all
of the
that.
stuff they got, like I want to say was it Nestle, whatever it was, and they said they had candy bars for days, and that that was all craft services. They had but like some of the other stuff, they're like, he's like, I don't know if we contact Kellogg's. We're like, what are they going to do? Sue us for promoting their product? So I don't think everyone got contacted, but they were like, I don't think it's not like they were like.
They could always say there's a
blowjob
blowjob joke in this, and we're a wholesome family cereal.
Right.
You never know.
Right. Right. But it's definitely a good listen. You kind of get a lot of a backstory because I'm sure you've noticed John DeBello's filmography is Killer Tomatoes and Happy Hour, I think is his other one, which also lives in the same Killer Tomatoes universe, which I never noticed, and he talks about on that. So he was building universe before Marvel. They're talking about. Oh, it should also be mentioned. Red Shoes, Michael Felser is the moderator, and they have a good back and forth on this.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's definitely a good listen. There's tons of information. I'm not going to go over everything. And then we have the interview, Hanging with Chad, brand new interview with the star Anthony Stark. He tells some Clooney stories, one in particular when when they go out on the town for the night, and George is just kicking back, being cool, and George, and Anthony's trying to, talking to chicks, and apparently there's one point he asked one girl, and she's like, oh, maybe later. And then apparently all night George is just fucking with them. Oh, maybe later.
Yeah, I take it he's not in contact anymore.
Yeah. I doubt it. I'm just saying.
Not taking care of his pigs on his property.
Right. There is some talk about, doing another one or a possible reboot, but if they did it like a remake, it would have to be, tongue-in-cheek, making fun of the fact of everyone's doing remakes. It would be just perfect if they could somehow get Clooney in there.
The only problem with that, 22 Jump Street, which I didn't care for, and I just thought it stretched that joke way too far. I would piss my pants if they had a reboot and fucking Clooney came back as the same character. I mean, hey, we're getting a new Bill and Ted supposedly, so
yeah.
He does enough arty films. I mean, fuck it, do a Tomato sequel. I think it would make him even cooler if he actually did it.
Right.
But
hey, he did South Park. If he did South Park, he could do Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it came out. It comes out that, and this was actually in the commentary. They talk about the Killer Tomato sequels and picking Fox over New World because they wanted to do the cartoon, which is good because New World folded right about then. But the director's favorites, he admits, are Return and Eat France are his favorite two Killer Tomatoes movies of the bunch.
Huh, well.
And he runs a film thing. He does I guess I want to say it was sports videos. And then every once in a while he's like, I'm going to make a Killer Tomatoes movie. So this is his side job. Extras. Back to that. After the interview, we get the image gallery with a bunch of rare behind-the-scenes footage, and then the usual original theatrical trailer and TV spots. And like most era releases, we get the new cover and then the original on the wrap. And I'm glad the original on the wrap because, like I said, it's one of my favorite posters.
Yeah, it's a good time, and if you like kind of a funny, very uniquely 80s parody of not only bad sci-fi movies, but just culture,
the film
product placement at the time, the film industry.
The film, and That's the one thing. I know parodies scare so many people nowadays. This is back when parody was actually a real thing.
Clever.
Not just whatever actors they have hired redoing the exact same scenes with no new jokes added.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans seeing dead people, just very obvious stuff. No, this is better.
Hey,
it was better
I'm
back
just
then.
Say that I'm going to say this. Leave the Wayans brothers out of it. They're the last ones to do a good parody film. It's everyone else who wrote Scary Movie and did fucking epic movie, disaster movie, spoof movie, all those other bullshit ones. I will give them.
They still crank those out. They still get them in theaters. I mean, we just had 50 Shades of Black with Marlon Wayans. I don't know if the Wayans brothers were behind that or if he was just starring in it.
I don't know. I actually enjoyed the Haunted House films. They're not as good as the older stuff, but they were no Scary Movie 3 to 5. I'll tell you, because those were garbage. Those are.
Yeah, once you got Sheen involved, yeah. But this one I think is among the best, and you even get some foggy shower boobs. They are in here. Again, PG movie. Big surprise. The last comment I'll make before we rate it that I thought was funny, the irony of George Clooney's character running a Win a Date with Rob Lowe competition. At this point, Rob Lowe's probably like sucking dicks in an alleyway in Los Angeles somewhere for cocaine. I thought that was I forgot about that scene, and I thought that was a pretty surreal.
What did Rob Lowe do? What did Rob Lowe do to you? He just had 2 series.
Oh, well, I know he's working. I guess it's just that I don't watch any of his stuff. But.
He was on Parks and Rec, and he had another series right after. It's not like he disappeared.
Well, then I apologize. He's not sucking dicks for cocaine. I apologize if Rob Lowe's listening. That would be pretty fucking weird if he were listening. He's like, that motherfucker. I don't know. I don't do a good Rob Lowe. But.
It's not like we're talking about his sex tape with the underage girl from 20 years ago. Come on.
Yes. Only Todd brings up that he's a child molester. But anyways, the movie for me...
I said no such thing.
The movie for me, before we do have other movies, I'll do my solo before we get to the... You won't have to wait long for the music, because I'll just bust out one solo. But the movie for me is a 4.5. I think it's really funny. I think it's one that, again, I don't know how it'll play for people that don't have an affinity for the 80s, but even then I still think you would get some laughs out of it. I think this one is actually it's a very charming flick. So I can't speak to the extras. Todd, what do you say on the movie and the extras?
Okay. Movie, I don't even care. I'm not even going to defend it. I give it a 5. Extras, I will give it a solid, because there could have been more. Even though all the information is covered, I would have liked to have seen Karen Mistal, but sadly, I don't know what. She's still around. Our Facebook stalker, she still exists.
She still exists.
She's
unfriending you as we speak, Todd.
I didn't add her. She has no film references, no friends in common. That's just weird. I was just curious.
But you looked through her photos to make sure it was her.
No, I did.
Looked up old high school people and see if they matched up on her friends list, and whacked off to her profile picture and. While you were in the tub listening to Enya. It wasn't creepy at all, Todd.
Wow, with Enya. But I was just
Enya and the return on your flat screen.
Would have loved to see her involvement. There's a few people I would have liked to see involved. I'm not even going to go with the whole there was no Clooney involvement. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Maybe for Return to Horror High.
Maybe. Fingers crossed. I give this one a solid 5, or a solid 4. Excuse me. I was doing. Information-wise, you're covered pretty solid. I know.
Sweet.
Become greedy.
As much as you could realistically hope for.
Yeah. We're greedy. We want more content always, but...
Well, that definitely gets a recommendation. I'm going to get the Blu-ray now. I just didn't pre-order it right away. I don't know why. I love the movie. But I have a quick solo, and we'll go to our musical break after this. And this is for The Haunting of Alice D. from writer-director Jessica Sonneborn. And from the back cover, in the late 1890s, Davenport House was a famously successful brothel ruled with an iron fist by an owner notorious for his cruelty and insatiable greed. Virtually imprisoned inside these walls, young Alice was forced to endure years of brutality and sexual slavery until she took murderous revenge on her captors and tragically ended her own life. More than a century later, the latest Davenport heir is hosting a decadent bash in the newly renovated mansion, complete with drugs, prostitutes, and just one rule: anything goes. But the fun has barely begun when strange, terrifying things begin to happen. Suddenly, the legend of Alice's tormented ghost proves to be very real as the guests discover firsthand that vengeance never rests in peace. So, I was pretty excited. This one actually had some pretty good reviews from even, bigger, more mainstream sites like Ain't It Cool News. And I can safely say Ain't It Cool News is full of shit. This is...
I could have told you that.
Yeah, they're definitely full of shit. Well, it's not all bad. I mean, the basic premise of the girl, being taken from, her parents dying and then her and her sister being sold by an uncle to Kane Hodder, by the way, who plays the head of the Davenport House back in the 1890s, and Al Snow, who plays his henchman. So that stuff was kind of cool. It has a very good setup for a horror movie. It's certainly a very good reason for a pissed off ghost. Some of the acting was fine. Actually, most of it. I didn't really have a huge issue. I mean, there were a couple, blah actors, but they weren't much of a role anyways for them. My biggest issue with this, first off, is it never at any point is this movie scary. Not even eerie, not creepy. I mean, it's just very blah. And, there's some sound issues, some typical indie issues. This rich heir, it's a pretty lame party with just a handful of people for this, rich heir that's doing this. I don't know. I mean, it had a couple moments, particularly with the flashbacks, but there's really no payoff. It's just it doesn't build up any kind of sense of suspense or draw me into the story like it should. I mean, there's a pretty obvious sort of love scene with the reluctant hooker in the modern times and the one nice guy among the group. But despite the good foundation for a horror film, there's just nothing much to recommend it. And even from an exploitation film standpoint, couple boobs, but if you're going in thinking you're going to get a raunchy, ghost hooker flick. Speaking of which, I need to trademark that because ghost hooker is gold. But it doesn't really deliver that either. It does have a scene where a very rapey Jason Voorhees assaults a girl while Al Snow holds him down. That was, Jason and Al Snow doing that. That was pretty surreal. That might make a good GIF somewhere. Somebody that knows how to make those, that might be kind of amusing. But it just doesn't come together. There's some good acting. Kane Hodder and Al Snow's very brief, mostly extended cameo stuff was good, but I don't know. I didn't get that. It doesn't even really become much of a horror movie till the end, and nothing wrong with the slow burn, but there's just no there's no sense of dread here. I mean, I just really did not care. I was more interested, truthfully, in the 1890s story. That's the movie they should have made, ideally with, Kane Hodder, plays a great villain. He's a very good actor when he's, has his speaking roles for people that just know him as Jason Voorhees. And, unfortunately lately it's just, he kind of has these extended cameo things. But, I can't recommend it. I give this one a 1 for an interesting premise and some good acting, but there's just not much else for me to recommend this one. So, Ain't It Cool News is full of shit. We'll just leave it at that. Especially being that their quote is some absolutely terrifying scenes of bloody horror. There's, basically no blood in this film. So, there we go. Todd, we got a pretty cool musical break. I don't even know if I'm going to go get a Hot Pocket because I kind of want to hear the whole thing.
All right. Well, you got a whole 5 minutes, so. All right. Well, if you can't figure out what our musical break is, yeah. All right. We'll be back in a few minutes.
This fall. This fall. This fall. This fall. This fall. And
got a rhythm all her own. Someday soon, if I keep praying, she might see how big I have grown, and won't it be fine?
Now the summer's gone, but she's on my mind. After one last kiss, I had to leave her behind. So it's back to school. If only I can get me through it.
Well, what'd you think of that one, Sid?
That had to be one of the worst movies I ever saw.
Yeah, but you know, it's all part of the business running turkeys like that.
Hey, listen, Bob, when can we show that big-breasted women go to the beach and take their tops off?
Yeah, I like that. Let's do that tomorrow, okay?
All right. Who let those carrots in here? Hey, you carrots, get off the stage.
What are those guys doing?
Hey, wait a minute. You guys can't come in here. Look.
What are you doing with those guns?
Don't point that.
No.
And we're back.
And we're back. We fucked that one up a little bit at the beginning. You kind of just had that loop going. So you heard the first part of a really sweet song, and then you heard big-breasted women. So that's
I don't know what happened.
Worked.
Well, I'm going to try to fix it off for the replay. So it may not be immediate. I may wait till tomorrow once it gets all uploaded and stuff. So if you guys are hearing this, we may be talking about it. You were like, what are you talking about? So
it played just fine.
Yes. Maybe we'll edit this all out. And we're back.
Yeah, we'll edit out our 45 seconds or so of bullshit after the song, and then you won't even know. So unless you're live, you won't know that we fucked up. So there you go. The ECW guys wish they had that option, but they didn't. Back to the show. Show must roll on. Let's see. What should we do next? Well, actually, let's do Anarchy Parlor. Why not? From the directing duo of Death and Kenny Gage. Anarchy Parlor, which supposedly inspired by real events. Some tattooed dude killed somebody at some point. I guess it kind of could be. But this one follows a mysterious nomad known as the Artist, who practices a dark art form passed down through the generations. He creates much more than tattoos for tourists who visit his Lithuanian parlor. He brings the pain. This one, it kind of, really the most accurate description. I mean, it's kind of a low-budget hostel with a crazed tattoo artist that skins people. That's the best way to describe it. The hostel comparisons are quite,
minus the humor elements in the very beginning of Hostel.
Yeah, that is true. But you also had the random. They're a little bit older. They're not really kids, but you had the thug teenagers too. So it really felt like they wrote this while watching Hostel. To me, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's fine. Rip-offs can be entertaining, and the great Robert Lasardo plays the Artist, and he was probably the best thing about this because if you don't know the name, you know the face.
You'll know.
He's been in fucking everything.
Or you know the tattoos. And I don't know. I may have to argue. Joey Fisher's may have been the best thing in it too.
I don't know. The actress that played Uta, she can't act her way out of a nutsack, but she was pleasant to look at least.
I don't know if Joey Fisher could either. Joey Fisher could either, but she was very easy on the eyes. For those, I know it sounds like I'm talking about a dude. For those listening, she played one of the strippers in the film and was very,
Yes.
Very easy on the eyes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is one of these movies, the acting, aside from Lizardo, is mostly wretched all around. You don't give a fuck about any of these people. You're just waiting for him to kill them. It delivers on the gore. There is some, I mean, it's a little repetitive, but I mean, it's a lower budget movie, but you do get some gnarly skinned back sequences, and the actors though are so bad, like they don't even sell it particularly well. It's kind of like it's like, I don't know, it's like you have Goldberg being tortured. They just don't sell. It just it doesn't, I don't know. But if you go into this just looking for blood and eye candy, it delivers pretty well. It probably could have had a little bit more nudity, truthfully, for just kind of the tone of this whole thing. But you get a couple moments. You get the I guess, what do we call it? I know what a Prince Albert's for a dude. I don't know what a pussy piercing is called, but you do get a gore moment with a pussy piercing. I don't know. It really bad acting, so it's one of those ones you just have to be in the mood for a mindless hostile ripoff. But what say you, Todd?
Well, I got it, by the way. It's called The Test.
Oh, it is? Okay. You know your pussy piercings.
Really? Really? You did get that, to test in Prince Albert?
Oh, there you go. I couldn't tell what you said, and I was just going to roll with it. So, yes. No, of course I know TNA back in the day.
Come on.
You know.
All right. What you know TNA now. Again, I guess I won't mention Joey Fisher again, but she displays some fine TNA. Her TNA gets a 5.
Yes. Movie probably doesn't.
Yeah. What did you say? Are we reviewing? Or did I miss when you gave it a number? Are we throwing them out?
No. I didn't throw a number out yet. I was just seeing what you thought.
Oh, okay. I got distracted. I was thinking of I don't know what
you were thinking of.
I agree. It is basically Hostel light. It doesn't get to Hostel level gore.
No,
so if you're expecting it, while Dan mentioned it delivers
couple moments,
it doesn't deliver on the Hostel level gore. No eye pus or anything like that.
No.
But I thought it was. See, here's the thing with me. I grew up in the 80s. I expect actors to be bad in horror films. I think people have gotten spoiled by the fucking WB Scream era, where we have all these TV stars and a lack of titties. But you throw something like this, you get one solid actor. That's what you need for the baddie. And you got some chicks who'll take their tops off, who'll kind of act, and some, this is, the staple of horror to me. I don't need fucking Shakespearean actors and actresses and fucking Strauss and all that bullshit. And it delivered what I wanted. I mean, I have no issues.
Why can't we have James Van Der Perry and titties? I mean, come on.
Well, this is true. Because that's not the world we live in. You get one or the other. Yeah, because no one's going to argue the top-notch acting of, Friday the 13th series.
Yeah. I didn't have an issue with it. Truthfully, the Uda character, she was so bad it was kind of funny. So, you know what I mean? It didn't hurt the movie. The movie's not scary. The movie's not suspenseful. You could give a fuck about anybody. But, it had at least a few decent gore moments and a pretty cool villain, truthfully. I wouldn't mind seeing Lizardo return in Anarchy Parlor, too.
I wouldn't either. and we wouldn't have to deal with Uta again.
Yeah, that's true. That's a spoiler, Todd. Damn it! Now people know Uta died, and the entire thing's ruined for them.
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, she's not coming back in the sequel. I mean, what did he launch her into space?
She could have went off to tattoo school.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's possible, I suppose. Well, we apologize for the spoiler, but you can't spoil this movie.
I didn't say who replaced her.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Let's stop giving people hints. Sarah Fable is gorgeous, but she can't act. But, truthfully, I would have liked to have seen her return just because. And it might have been the English not being her first language, too, so I hate to completely slam somebody, but she was amusing to watch in this one to me. I don't know. It was kind of like an Anna Nicole Smith does an action movie thing. It's horrible, but it's still it's funny to watch. So.
Still my most favorite quote of any movie interview of all time. When she was interviewed about Skyscraper, she said it was like Die Hard 2, but in a building. R.I.P. Anna Nicole.
Indeed. Now I want to go back and watch Skyscraper and To the Limit back to back again. Maybe we'll do that one for. We'll do that for him. Hey, commentary, maybe.
I think we just found our commentary, Skyscraper.
There you go. I don't know how many people have the DVD. It probably won't be a much listened to show, but hey, we'll do it for you. Why not?
I'm sure it's on YouTube or something.
That's true. Hopefully they can follow along in sync, but
I'm checking if it's on YouTube, because if so, we're doing that.
Absolutely, why not? That would be pretty funny. If nothing else, hey, who else does that? So maybe we'll do it. But Anarchy Parlor, back to the movie. I'm torn on this one. I'm kind of glad I watched it through a rental and didn't necessarily pay the full price. It's one of those BDR Blu-rays, and it's one of the more expensive ones. And I will say I don't think it's going to be worth it for you. But, I don't know. I'm going to give this one 2.5. I'm going to maybe not be as generous as I could be, because I don't think it has a whole lot of replay value. But if you just want a mindless, really poorly acted gore fest, and hey, we all have those days where we desire that. It's a good rental. So that's my rating. Todd, what say you?
I got distracted.
He's Googling Anna Nicole Smith. He Googled Skyscraper and he saw her tits, and now he doesn't even know what we're reviewing.
I will be honest, it's on YouTube. It's been on there for a month, so hopefully it lasts. And I just skipped ahead to 12 minutes and 30 seconds, and oops, I got distracted.
There you go. A lot of soap. The soap distracted.
No, it's actually in the bed. It's the in the bed scene. Yeah. And wait, I'm not rating Skyscraper.
No, you're not. Mind out of the gutter.
I literally got lost. I agree. It's right in the middle. I did enjoy it enough. I'd want a further installment. I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay. I was close. I would like to see Losardo again. It could be a fun little franchise starter. And before we get into our next review, I do have the DVD from 2003 on that, Todd. So, hell, let's do it next. Let's do it. Like I said, next week will be a commentary. Why the hell not? Let's do this one.
Oh, yeah. This will be our Thursday. Because honestly, with this one, I have the DVD too. I want to. This one, I fear it's not going to last very long. Because
it's out there. I think you can still get it. I mean, I know it's one a lot of people have. It's Anna Nicole Smith, so
Yeah, but I
there
think
you go.
This is one of those ones we don't want to make them buy it just for the commentary.
That's true. You might be happy. It's fun. So, before we We're not rating Anna Nicole's boobs.
Yeah, and
maybe we should do a
see the
commentary of a reality show. Wasn't everybody involved in that, just like in one big like fuck fest or something together? The lawyer, the boy, like everybody. So I don't know. That shit's probably kind of disturbing to watch now, but
yeah, I think so too. Well, if anyone wants to see the good part on Skyscraper, 11:45.
There you go. Todd's the next Mr. Skin. There you go. Maybe we can do To the Limit too. Who knows? We'll record a few, and hell, even if we get caught up with reviews and everything, you know, we can pre-record a few, and maybe you'll get some on some random days. Next movie from Scream Factory, a new movie from Scream Factory, from director Nick Robertson, The Pack. Kind of a few movies under that title, but this is a new one. And I think we edited it, but sometimes I do the description before I actually see the movie, so this isn't a werewolf film. It's a killer dog flick. So just throwing it out there, if I had anywhere where I said it was a werewolf flick, you know, once I saw it, I realized it's not. Just throwing it out there. This is an Australian film. I know, I just assumed. I think I knew Bad Moon, you know, that's coming, I think, next week, so I think I just kind of got confused. But, no, this one is an Australian film, and from the back cover, man's best friend becomes his worst nightmare when a horde of bloodthirsty wild dogs descends upon a family's farmhouse. In a remote stretch of the Australian outback, a sheep rancher, his veterinarian wife, and their 2 teenage children live in isolation. Until a horrifying night when a pack of fang-bearing, 4-legged rabid beasts besiege their home. With no one around to help them, the family must band together to survive or else become canine kibble. Generating a steadily mounting sense of dread, the pack cleverly toys with genre conventions before it goes in for the kill. So, Todd, what did you think? I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one myself.
I was too. I didn't really know much going into this one. You know, we already give IFC Midnight the reputation of them putting out solid stuff pretty much every time, and this was another case of that. Yeah, their only miss, in my opinion, also came out this past Tuesday, and that was the Cabin Fever reboot. But we already reviewed that.
Yeah, they had that. Although I was #horror. Can't say never, because that was one of the big
that was another
shit tickles of this year. So it happens, but they're usually good.
But yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I thought the story was strong. It was well acted. I didn't really know we weren't getting werewolves, but I liked the whole dog angle instead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing I can say really bad about this.
No. You know what's interesting about this movie is, I mean, it's very, very basic, and I like that. There's not, I mean, the family's, you know, kind of having its typical problems, you know, paying the bills and is in danger of losing their farmland, and it does everything right. I mean, it is CG free, pretty much. I mean, I don't know if there was like some shadowy enhancement shot, but basically completely CG free.
If we didn't notice it, it's, you know, that if we didn't notice it, it's either CG free or it was done right where we couldn't tell it was there.
I want to say maybe in the dark when one of the dogs gets shot and it falls down there. I mean, it's very, like I said, basically no CG. So people that really have a tough time with creature features with the CG, this is probably one for you because, like I said, it's all old school. The attacks are quick and brutal, you know, actual dogs ripping at stuntmen sort of deal. And it works really well. This film also, again, very rare in modern creature features, which, you know, I like a lot of them, but, you know, it's very rare that you have a sense of dread and suspense. This one does that. You know, it's very simple. I mean, you kind of get to know the family a little bit. You know, you like them, you kind of rooting for them, and then it goes right into it. There are a few pretty effective jump scares along with the you know, the suspense, which, you know, something a lot of people nowadays just don't know how to build. And, you know, I really liked it. It's just good, old-fashioned creature fun. And I shouldn't say, I guess, creature. I mean, these are just wild dogs that kind of go nuts, I suppose. It doesn't explain a whole lot, and I was okay with that. I mean, what do you think, Todd?
I'm sorry, I was multitasking.
Damn it, stop watching Skyscraper, Todd.
I know, I swear to God I'm Todd. Damn it. I missed the last sentence you said.
Yeah, Anna Nicole's titties.
Up.
I mean, come
on. No.
That's okay.
I swear.
He's fast-forwarded through that. Now he's got To the Limit fired up. No, I was just saying I liked how uncomplicated this movie is. I mean, you've seen it before, but it does exactly what I think most people would like out of this type of film.
Yeah, no, that is true. It's nothing new, but it's I don't know if it's excuse me. Sometimes with the international horror, stuff like that gets a pass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the accents throw us off and make it a little more esteemed than we would if it was, you know, in the backwoods of West Virginia. No offense, West Virginia. I just picked it out because that's Dan's old stomping ground.
Well, I wasn't born there. I don't live there
that.
now, so I'm cool with it. I make a lot of West Virginia jokes, so it's all good.
I know, but I'm sure we have some listeners there.
We do. But even they would admit West Virginia is a little rapey. I mean, it is.
I wasn't even talking shit, but okay. Well,
I was on the Maryland border, so not too much.
I should look into it. I like a little rapey.
Todd's going to move there and just tie girls up and make them watch Skyscraper with him.
Then it's going to be a lot rapey if I move there. No.
Don't look away, bitch, or I'll get the chainsaw.
But no, I agree. And I don't know if it is that. It sometimes elevates, you know, stuff like that, that it has that international feel, but it is a great film, and it you already said it. It's not anything we haven't seen before, but it's all perfectly executed, and I think it is well worth your time. And because my shipment is late, for those of you with Netflix streaming, this is currently streaming for free on Netflix. If you want to do a try before you buy. I lucked out. I didn't want to go search Best Buy, so my package should be here tomorrow. You know, just in time to review.
And you'll probably hold on to this one. I don't think you'll be returning.
Oh no, yes. I didn't call them up like.
If it were hashtag horror,
yeah. I might have been. Yeah, never mind. Took too long.
Yes.
Although I am a glutton for punishment. Although I'm a glutton for punishment because Cabin Fever is coming with it.
Oh, really? No, I didn't buy that. I saw it. I'll get it at some point when it's like $4 or $5 used, maybe, I don't know, Black Friday or something like that. But I know I'm not going to sit down and watch that again anytime soon, and we already reviewed it. So, but The Pack, well, you know, any criticism, I guess there is that sense of, you know, you question certain moves of some characters. You know, would you maybe have done this different, that different? But sometimes, again, that's another thing that sometimes is kind of the fun of a horror movie, so it's not a big criticism. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far to say as it's among the greats, but it certainly does them justice, and I think it's a really good watch. So I give this one 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it.
Damn, see, exactly on point with me. I go to 4 out of 5 because while it's, like we've mentioned, it was perfectly done, and it is, stuff, it doesn't cover any new ground. I mean, it doesn't reach that 5 level, even though I think it's a great film.
You needed to see more out of the shower scene. It let you down.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
You would have gotten
Definitely.
another half star, but that's how you go. But like I said, hey, and it's the 20th anniversary of Skyscraper, so we'll promote it as such. The 20th anniversary commentary track. Maybe hey, you could bring in the Pumpkin Queen, or she could, or whoever she wrestled, the ghost of Whitney Houston. Maybe we could have the ghost of Anna Nicole on commentary. Any female comedians want to take part in something entirely offensive and inappropriate, you can contact us. We'd be willing to have you on as a special guest. So, moving on to our last film of.
Well, go ahead. You ruined my joke. Be glad I forgot his name. I was going to say the ghost of your son.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. Oh. Yeah, he died too, didn't he?
Danny.
Actually, I didn't. I forgot it. I forgot that happened, and I would have been outraged, but Todd's causing a lot of trouble tonight. But that's okay.
Well, I mean,
that's okay.
We can have the ghost. We can have the ghost of Danny. You can talk about his mom's boobs and make it really uncomfortable.
Oh God, that'll be an interesting show next week. For those of you who have it.
I guess we're booked. Now, will that be the first? Yeah, we're booking on the fly, people. Will that be the first Fleshman After Dark commentary?
Would you consider that in the softcore porn realm, or more of just a action titty flick?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of. We could call it a Flesh Wound After Dark, though. I mean, everybody rented it for the same reason. They didn't, so same two reasons.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out. But we'll have that in Human Tornado and maybe a Centipede.
We're definitely doing an exclusive graphic for that one. I'm just saying.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I might have to get a few beers for that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe somebody will want to come on with us. It'll be fun. So, last review for the evening, the new Stacked Arrow Blu-ray, I think like 27 years in the making, Blood and Black Lace. This is one that I actually am glad I checked my order because it had my old address, because this thing has been like pre-ordered and then canceled and then pre-ordered since the dawn of man. So I'm glad I noticed that. Otherwise, the weirdo that bought our house would be enjoying this Blu-ray right now. From the I guess not everybody's seen it, so we'll do a brief synopsis from the back cover. The Christian Haute Couture fashion house is a home to models and backstabbing and blackmail and drug deals and murder. Having established a template for the giallo with The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Bava set about cementing its rules with Blood and Black Lace. In doing so, he created one of the most influential films ever made, an Italian classic that would spearhead the giallo genre, provided a prototype for the slasher movie, and have a huge effect on filmmakers as diverse as Dario Argento and Martin Scorsese. Newly restored from the original camera negative and presented here in its original uncut Italian form, this dual-format release allows fans to see Blood and Black Lace, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I was kind of losing my breath there talking, so, lots of good shit, let's just put it that way. The movie first. Todd, where does this stand for you in terms of the giallo genre? I mean, we're obviously both fans, longtime listeners have heard us talk about some past movies. Where does it stand?
Here's the thing with this one, and it was actually pointed out in the extras by the filmmakers who did the recent Giallo. I can't think of their names, and I'm looking at the specs right now to try to find
Mare and Strange Color of Your Body's Tears.
Yes.
Okay.
That it's only kind of like half a Giallo, which it is and it isn't. I still look at the Bava stuff as almost like the grandparents of what we really know as a Giallo.
Mm-hmm.
It has half the elements that make a classic one, and Bava's other one has the other half with the girl who saw too much. I'm thinking off the top of my head.
Knew too much.
The girl who knew too much. Yeah, I knew. I knew I was going to screw up something in that title. It's long enough. So I've never really ranked it in, my favorite Giallos. I do think it is. It's weird because, like I said, I've never really put it in there. I love the film, but I've never put it in my top 5 Giallos.
Mm-hmm. Not up there with What Have You Done to Solange for you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a knock on the film at all, because I do definitely think it's a classic. I mean, you can see influences on Argento all throughout it, but it is not that definitive classic Giallo that we all know and love, that are fans of this genre.
I think if you set aside what you want to label it as, I think it's definitely a classic film. And, 1964, I believe this was made. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 64. You look at that, and it's hard to see it now because it's tame by even, later Giallo standards, certainly.
Oh, of course.
But it's a pretty shocking movie for that time. I mean, the glove to the face, the burning, it was certainly cutting edge, and it's like a cinematic art piece. I mean, you watch this, the colors, it's such a beautiful movie. I mean, if you're a fan of classic horror or classic cinema, period, I think Blood and Black Lace is definitely one you should see. Of course, the great Cameron Mitchell, who went on to have a hell of a B-movie career in his late day. Even appeared in a porno, Dixie Ray Hollywood star, Raw Force, a lot of the Olin Ray stuff, The Tomb, Frankenstein Island, Bloody Movie. He's even in Hollywood Cop. I mean, he had a pretty entertaining, maybe not as proud of it at that part of his career as he was Blood and Black Lace, but he was great in this. I mean, it's got that classic elegance to it, and I know a lot of listeners and just horror fans in general nowadays. I was actually talking to a guy who I helping one of many that is contributing to a list of some of the greatest horror movies ever, and for a book he's got coming out, and just kind of talking to him in general about, for a lot of people, the genre didn't even start until the 70s, for some even the 80s. But, anything before then, it's like it doesn't exist, which is kind of a shame because there were a lot of great movies at this time. I mean, Bava was a master. I mean, Black Sunday is my favorite, but Blood and Black Lace is certainly a hell of a film. And maybe for those of you who are uninitiated, think of it more as a whodunit, murder mystery type thing rather than trying to totally classify it as a Giallo where you're expecting maybe a little more sleaze or, gore. I think it's a great film. I mean, without this, there would be no Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which a lot of people kind of consider the start of the true Giallo boom, I guess we could say. A lot of people have different opinions about it. There's a couple other films, lesser known, that some people say contributed to the launch of the genre, but I think it's a great movie. I really do. I think it's one that if you have an interest in classic film, it's well worth seeking out. Certainly holds my interest, and I think, you want to see where it all began. Not just the giallo genre, the slasher genre too. I mean, there's a lot of people owe a lot to this movie, and Baba in general. I mean, Baba was a legend.
You look at Bay of Blood.
Yep. Yeah, a.k.a. Twitch of the Death Nerve. Yeah, that's, another one very instrumental for slashers. He was a very special director. I mean, Italian cinema in general, 60s and all the way into the 80s. I mean, there's a whole hell of a lot of classics to be had there, and it's kind of a shame that we don't see a whole lot of Italian horror movies now. But Todd, I know it's going to be a love fest on the movie. Anything else to say about that before we get to the extras?
No. Let's dive into the extras. Or are we going to rate it first? Do you want to rate the film?
The movie's a 5 for me. Yeah, the movie's a 5 for me. I think it's a must-see if you're a fan of the genre.
I agree. That's what I said. Well, I was trying not to discount it, but I feel like that's what I felt. I felt like it's the grandfather to the genre.
Yeah, you may have, some listeners may have certain expectations that may not be met, but I mean, it's a fantastic film.
Absolutely.
I think it's very timeless.
If you're already a fan of the genre, you will definitely enjoy this. Even if you're not, I mean, it's not just. See, that's the thing. Some of the things that are trademark of the genre that people don't like aren't here. So I think it's a beautiful film. I mean, I think every horror fan should at least check it out.
Yeah, we love the genre, but let's be honest. There were some latter-day giallo flicks, and that, or even some during the boom period, that really probably in a lot of ways weren't that good. So this one's definitely among the elite.
Yeah, and none of those, of course, starred Edwidge Fenech because she's an only good one.
Yeah, she can't make anything bad. She could be in a paint drying documentary and it'd still work. But on to the extras.
She could have been in Final Deletion and it would have been awesome.
Yeah, yes. She can do anything. It could be like a snuff film with I don't know, like cute, adorable puppies, and it would still work because she was in it. She's that type of girl. Still is. So on to the extras. Well, I mean, it had me sold on, I believe it was Psychoanalysis, the feature-length documentary. That alone, like, I always say this particularly because it ran a good hour, I think it was. I don't have the exact.
55 minutes. 55 minutes.
There you go. That alone, I mean, you get more info and insight than you would the average, release, even a good release, because it's a lot of information from a lot of different critics and screenwriters, and it's kind of a nice companion to the Tenebrae doc.
Yeah. Can't forget his son pops up, and Dario Argento. It's a solid. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't really talk about the whole genre, but I think it is. You hit it dead on. It's a perfect companion piece to the documentary on the genre on the Tenebrae DVD Blu-ray.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very
you watch those
in-depth.
You know everything.
Yeah, if you're uninitiated, you'll really kind of have some insight into the giallo. And speaking of Lamberto, did I tell you once at a convention, got my Demons poster signed, and I actually was sitting next to him at a hotel bar. It was so fucking cool. He's a cool dude. That Sergio Martino was actually at that same, I think was at the same convention, if I recall right. So it was pretty cool. But back to the film, to the extras, I guess we can say. You also have the Gender and Giallo, which is a visual essay exploring kind of the Giallo and the social topics of the day in the 60s and 70s. Pretty interesting. You get a panel discussion on Mario Bava from Dario and Lamberto and Steve Della Casa that was recorded at a film festival in 2014. That one's a little shorter, but still kind of cool to hear Dario and some Hitchcock story that I thought was pretty funny. And what else do you have to say about the extras, Todd? I mean, there's a lot more.
Yeah, you know, it's a great release. This thing is truly stacked. You know, I don't know what else there's to say, but I mean, the main piece we discussed. I mean, there's a lot of little things here and there. Then you even have a short film from from Ryan Handsome and John Britt, Yellow, which is definitely worth checking out. It's right around a half hour. So if you can watch an episode of I don't know Seinfeld, you can watch that. There you go.
Yeah, it's stacked. I mean, you've got Joe Dante on there, interviewed David DeVale. Of course, you have Tim Lucas. If you don't know that name, I mean, he does so much. Kind of one of the true authorities of the genre. It's very well put together. I mean, it's a 5. I mean, we could kind of dissect every extra, but in terms of extras, it's a 5. So it definitely lived up to. It's probably going to end up being one of the best releases of the year, truthfully. And like I said, Arrow, Scream Factory, you better come up with some magic.
I've had this release for like a year.
That's true, but it's new to the U.S.
It is. Well, I have to ask, which version did you end up grabbing? Because I know they're all the same as the UK one, but I know there's a Steelbook one and a standard release.
I do not have the Steelbook. Yeah, Steelbook for me, I just don't care that much. I mean, I have a few. I have the Demons, of course, Tenebrae, but I don't go out of my way for Steelbooks. Steelbooks doesn't get my dick hard personally. I just, you know, a lot of people it seems to, but I don't know. I'm okay with this one. It's still awesome. You know, it's not a foreign object, I guess, but that's okay.
And the Blu-ray was a combo? I mean, it did come with the DVDs also?
Yes, it did. It is the combo pack. And
all right. No, I was just curious if they changed everything, because I know the issue was with VCI. I was wondering if they're like, oh, you can put it out in the U.S., but we won't still have the DVDs. I was just curious, because I know that was the biggest holdup, was VCI had the rights here. I guess they finally did something else.
This one, it's been forever. And another one that's been canceled, although it hasn't popped back up in a while, was Redemption's Nude for Satan Blu-ray. That's another one that I think I've ordered like 2 or 3 times, and it just, I don't know why, but it just always disappears. I've never heard the story behind it, but it just still hasn't come out. So, definitely check it out.
Speaking of disappearing titles, I don't know if you noticed, Nighthawks, the Stallone film, has been canceled a couple times by Shout. It just popped up again coming from Shout Selects. So I don't know if you're a fan of that, but...
I had that pre-ordered. Wasn't Nighthawks Kino? I could be wrong. Or Olive or Kino?
No. Because now it's Shout Select.
I could be wrong, but I haven't noticed mine canceled. I know it got pushed back to September. I'll have to look into that. Because I'll be honest, I can't remember who is putting it out. So I'll have to check. But, yeah. Oh,
no,
I don't know. Why did I think it was Kino?
I don't know. I'm looking at it right now. And honestly, they didn't cancel this one. I think maybe they just updated it this time because it doesn't have any mention of Shout Selects on the cover yet. So they might have just updated it.
Okay, Nighthawk, Stallone Hauer, right? Stallone Rutger Hauer, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I have it pre-ordered. Whoever it's coming from, I'll hopefully get it.
Well, and now it's Shout Select, so that's
okay.
So it should have some extras.
I'm cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I get Hauer in there. But, well, I guess we've got ourselves a skyscraper commentary, and like I said, we'll have a, few weeks of, some random, some commentaries. I know at some point we will have a full moon show. We've talked about it for a long time, but we are going to do a full moon show with, we're not going to talk about Puppet Master, subspecies, or transfers. We're going to talk about some of those, particularly 90s, mid to late 90s era, even into early 2000s, full moon titles that I think are actually pretty damn cool. I really love that era, and I figured we'd highlight it. We'll do a retro show and highlight those a little bit. But before we go, just wanted to ask you, because this will be probably the last time before. God, my timing's fucked up. I don't know when it's this next SmackDown's going to be the draft, right?
I don't know, isn't it?
I believe it has to be because it's before Battleground.
No. Well, is it? Because I think we have the 14th, then SmackDown moves to Tuesday the 19th.
Well, we'll have to see. I was gonna say, are you
I'm
coming around and getting excited?
Not really.
But Jimmy Wang Yang, the Asian redneck, he's coming back.
Yeah.
That did nothing. Todd just no-sold it.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Because I'm pretty sure it's the 19th though, because TNA announced today they're moving. They're going back home to Thursday night starting the 21st. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why that is.
Yeah, just random. Completely random.
They couldn't compete with those 70s show reruns anymore. They just, But I'm excited for it to be live. Like I said, the talent pool's more diverse now, and I'm very curious to see. Maybe I'm thinking of the Cruiserweight Classic because that is coming up pretty soon. I'm pretty excited for that. I'm curious to see who gets signed.
Yeah. Like, damn it, now I can't watch SmackDown in 10 minutes because it's meaningless.
You're going to have to sit, and they're going to bump it up to 3 hours. Yeah, I was going to say it's a good idea for them because there's that time where you just really don't have to see The Miz versus Dean Ambrose. You know what I mean? It's just not a must-see. You looked at the spoilers, and that's good enough.
Yeah, that's it's going to be interesting because I'm not going to have that all the time in the world.
I hope it stays at 2 hours. At 2 hours, that's all I'll say. I hope
Raw would go back to 2 hours. Honestly, I think this is the last run for SmackDown. If their numbers don't pick up, I can foresee SmackDown being a network exclusive.
It is possible because they have gone down a lot.
And USA hasn't been happy with the numbers. That's why this whole live thing happened. But, I mean, let's be honest.
It should help, though.
Yeah, it should. But, I mean, WWE's treated it as a whatever, you don't have to watch SmackDown to be caught up.
No, you don't. It's a random tag match usually. I mean, it's just, it's been a while since there's been, you get some good wrestling here and there, don't get me wrong, but it's been a while since I've seen, must-see TV from SmackDown. Dean Ambrose beat The Miz. That's fine. I don't really have to watch that. So hopefully, like I said, keep a unique feel. It should feel like a separate company owns the two brands. That's how I feel about it.
Do you want the return of the SmackDown fist stage?
I'm okay if the fist comes back. I don't know. It's kind of sexual in a way, I guess, but it could work. It could work. I will say I wouldn't mind seeing Vicky Guerrero back.
I know. I'm curious to see who's going to get it. Who's going to get the show? If it's just they split each one of them gets, it's going to be underwhelming, I think.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe it's weird because Shane hasn't even been on Raw lately, so I don't know what they may have brewing. I don't know who I'm really rooting for to take it. I mean, I think Heyman would be pretty cool. I think it would be pretty cool to see him actually booking again, but I don't know if that'll happen. I mean, if I had to go by a former one, I'll admit I really like the Vicky Guerrero run, but something tells me it's going to be somebody that hasn't been a GM before. Or maybe Eric Bischoff. I don't know. He's got his DVD out.
That's the one I was thinking. Now, you know what today is, right?
Yeah, 20th anniversary of the Hogan turn at Bash at the Beach. I do.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, that it could be. To be honest, I didn't care for John Laurinaitis' run, and Mike Adamle was a stupid joke that they carried way too far. But there's not a lot that would necessarily piss me off. I mean, yeah, like I said, I just hope it's not something stupid like Vince comes out and makes Hornswoggle. Maybe Hornswoggle will come back and make him the GM or something. Bring back that horrible storyline, the other son. But I don't know. Like I said, I mean, you're going to have Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, all these guys, Finn Balor, all these guys. It's going to be hard for it to suck. It will be. Now, I mean, hopefully they could find a way to make it happen, but I would let SmackDown have very much a feel like NXT. Let Raw keep the proper women's division, I think, because, it's got the extra hour, and I think they can support the proper women's division more, and maybe give SmackDown whatever might come out of this Cruiserweight Classic thing. Two unique things, and just roll with it. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm trying to stay optimistic, although I'm hearing about them re-signing guys like Kurt Hawkins and, some names that I'm thinking, well, just hire some more indie standouts. Why are you bringing back, 2007 era jobbers? But we'll see. Anyways, I've rambled on enough about wrestling. We're at the end of the show. I guess Skyscraper next week, Human Tornado at some point, Human Centipede, Full Moon. We have some different shows for you, and probably be back to regular reviews in a couple weeks or so. Todd, did I miss anything? Anything else we need to plug?
No, well, I got my end of the show plugs. This Saturday in East Los Angeles, it will be UEW versus UIPW, a rival company. So we'll get to see some superstars of the underground beat the shit out of some luchadors. So that should be fun. And coming up in a couple short hours, Hellraiser Radio, which will be a little different tonight. Hellraiser Classic. It'll be my first time on this format, so I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet.
It is different than the normal UEW only format. It is more of a I don't know what I'm in store for, but I believe there will be some match announcements though, that some exclusives on this show tonight.
Sweet.
So I don't know. I got to get to the studio pretty early today, so I'll find out more.
You need to make Swoggle versus El Torito midget death match. It can happen now.
This is true. All right. I'll play the commercials that are out tonight. I don't have any outro ready to go. All right.
Sweet. That's okay.
We got 90 seconds. So anything before we cut out, Dan?
See you guys next week for some Soapy Anna Nicole action.
And that's always a good thing. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Are you a fiend of the underground and can't get enough? Then tune in every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Spreaker with MP3, Chaz, and The Dune for Hellraiser Radio. all things UEW, interviews with some of your favorite UEW warriors, plus much, much more. It's every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Spreaker. Listen to Hellraiser Radio. The threat is real.
Wow, it looks like Santa's workshop in here.
I was just at Dee Dee's Discount.
Saving money again.
You know it, and they had all these fantastic toys.
Ooh, my son would go wild over this remote control car.
Well, this kitchen set is the same one I just saw somewhere else for a lot more.
Amazing! But who's this sweater for?
Well, that's for me. I figured since I saved so much money, I deserve to look good for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. You did the right thing.
To find a location near you, visit DeeDee'sDiscounts.com.